Very important topic of discussion, that is module 5, network defense tools and blockchain technology. So only introduction of blockchain technology we are learning from this course current semester. Uh, Previous to that, we are going to discuss the network defense tools. These are the following topics we are going to learn from this discussion: network defense tools and blockchain technology, firewalls and packet filters, firewall basics, packet filter versus firewall. The next submodule subtopic: how a firewall protects a network, packet characteristics to filter, stateless versus stateful firewalls, network address translation and port forwarding, the basics of virtual private networks, and some operating system firewalls like Linux, Windows, OS X, and the SNART is a intrusion detection system tool when the firewall fails to detect the malicious traffic. The in such situation, SNART tool is going to use to detect the malicious software, uh, malicious traffic. Then introduction to blockchain technology, some definitions, tools used for implementation and its application we are going to discuss at the last stage. Now keep open. So what mistake usually we going to do when we are using the internet or the personal PC or the laptop? The common mistake most of us we are going to do is we are turning off our firewalls. We are turning off our firewalls. So Windows has the firewall control panel. Yes, Windows firewall. See, uh, in my case, I am enabled the firewall. So most of you, some website, if you want to access, the firewall is not going to allow you to access such networks. In such situation, usually what we are going to do is we are weaken the firewall security, turn off firewall on or off. Actually, it is not recommended to turn off the Windows firewall. So turn off Windows firewall is not recommended. Okay. So it is a safety measure. The firewall is going to provide to access the internet safely at some extent. So that's why the common mistake, don't do the common mistake which the non-IT students are going to do. So open your PC. If you are connected with the Windows PC, you just enable the firewall on. That's the mistake usually we do. So what is the need of firewalls? The need is organizations are much worrying about the security issues causes by public internet. So the organizations always investing in the security tools rather than granular level investments. They are going to invest on defense level tools. Defense level tools. One of the defense level tool is the firewall. So there are so many firewall depending on the organizational structure and the infrastructure and the network topology. Based on that, the firewall rules and the policies are going to be implemented in their organizational servers. So mainly the need of the security for the organization is to prevention is very difficult, but mitigate, they can reduce the security risks. So what is the need for the organizations? They need to protect the transactions happening from their network to the outside network. The usually the data is for going from internal network to the external network. So financial transactions they need to protect, data transactions they need to protect, reputations about a particular organization they need to protect. If any other such kind of transaction which will be used by computers and computer is connected with the external network, that needs to be secured. This is the major need of any organizations who is going to use the internet as a service for their external communication. So after knowing the mistake is, keep always turn on the firewalls in the local machines. Otherwise, definitely you yourself losing the control of security attacks. The need of firewalls are to protect the financial data, reputation, or the communication over network from internal to external and external to internal network. The challenge is, since probably you are already aware of the current network topologies are very complex. See, usually a business which will have 10 to 20 computers, creating network topology is compared to the larger organizations, network topology is a small and it's a possible to maintain easily by the novice administrators. So whereas come to the our organization like BMSIT. So this institution which has more than 400 computers throughout the campus. The topology how they have maintained, since organization is growing from year to year, the users also growing, the computer system and computing devices. So not only the computers, PC, desktops are installed for the usage of the internet, even though 3,500 plus students are there, they are using a different type of the operating system, including the Android, iOS phones, Symbian OS, Windows phones, and a different set of configured devices. See, these are the complexity is increased in case of the large networks. That's the one challenging for the protection of the internal organizational structure from outsider hackers or the attackers. See, one more thing you need to understand: the in the organization usually they used to keep patch updates, secured infrastructure they are maintaining. Suppose as an user, you are using the mobile handheld device. If you are not updating the patches, your device might be the entry point to the existing organization. So your device act as a, because your device is vulnerable since it is not up to date updated patches. So people are, that's why people, the hackers are scanning the network for to find the vulnerabilities or the entry point or the weak point to enter into the secure networks. This is a one major challenge exists to provide the complete security to the complex network topologies. So, in the face of all these systems to defend, organization must consider how to react when they are compromised by hackers. You don't think that most of us were thinking that this is an educational institution. What the hacker is going to get the gain from this? We should not think in such direction that if they are able to compromise the personally identifiable information, they can make use of that PII in the financial transactions near the time. So today you are the student, tomorrow you are going to become a professional, IT professional or ITES professional. Definitely suppose if the college database is compromised that for the hacker, so your credentials are there like date of birth or the name, address or the income, etc. and so on, about income out about the parent. So such information might be given while the during the admission time. If any compromise act happens within inside the network or from outside the external attackers, then near the future they are going to use your credentials to do lot of things, as we seen from module 1 to module 4. Lot of ways are there to attack the systems, right? One of the thing they can carry out to steal the information of yours. So that's why don't ignore. Let's simply, we cannot ignore like anything. So not just blindly believe that they will never be visited by malicious activity. No, it is a war field. Cyber security and network security is the war field. Anytime anything can happen, even though in the secured environment. So network monitoring helps. So that's why the people who, since it is a war field, always the soldiers are always they should be alert in all 24 by 7 into 365 days. Similarly in the border. Similarly here, so we don't know from where that is coming from, where the traffic is generating. As I demonstrated in the first day itself, so live attack, cyber live attack. As I demonstrated this cyber live attack threat map, so you will not nowadays in Afghanistan internal the attacks are going on. You can observe here from this live attack map. So every fractions of seconds, cyber attack is going on. You just observe from initiation from the United States to Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Netherlands, South Africa, India, right? So what kind of viruses they are injecting, what from where, the source of injection, etc. and so on. This threat map is going to give the information. See, observe here. Threats are increasing. Attacks on this day, attacks itself around approximately 81 lakh plus attacks are initiated from the 0 hour of the current day. See how much it is a dangerous situation we are living in. So as a IT person and cyber security practitioner, how much we should be careful ourselves whenever we are clicking on a malicious link, knowingly or unknowingly. So that's why the organizations usually do keep an eye on monitoring the network activities which is going to be carried out inside the business environment. So for that, some of the tools, well developed tools are available for monitoring the network activities inside the organizational networks. So one of the tool, the called as SNOT, it is a network monitoring tool, help identify activity when a firewall's defenses inevitably break down. So once the if installed firewall, if it is unable to protect the internal network, then the response team is there. That is computer emergency response team, CERT at the national level. Usually they have to they are monitoring the ingoing and outgoing traffics. If they suspect, they will immediately report to the defense agency to further analyzing the network and take the necessary actions. So the learning outcome from this module 5 is we are learning in this module is basics of firewall. What is exactly the firewall? Firewall, whether it is a hardware or the software or the hybrid firewall, and where we can install the firewalls, how to configure it, how to filter out the rules and all. We were going to see from controlling traffic based on specific port numbers. We are learning from this module is how to control the traffic through the specific port numbers, and to more sophisticated firewall that run on operating system. From this module, we are going to learn basics of firewall, how traffic can be controlled at the port level as well as the operating system level. And we're going to understand about what is blockchain technology. Any questions in this? Students?
No, sir.
Fine. Okay, let's move on to the um, main content. Firewalls and packet filters. At the right part of the screen, observe here, uh, actually the firewall, it is installed between the external traffic, that is internet, and the server which is within the wall of an organization. Firewall. What is firewall? The general meaning firewall it means in any organization they building a secure walls to prevent to access the inside resources from trespassers. Like for example, in our college, compound is there. The wall is built in such a way that trespassers or unauthorized access will be reduced or minimized. Still, it is possible to enter into the college premises through main gate itself. Again, in the main gate, some technology is implemented like maintaining the security guards. Security guard has to verify whether you are belongs to the organization. Say in the same scenario, in the same kind, the firewall works here in the computer networks. The bottom figure, you can look, the firewall might be a switch, firewall might be a router, firewall might be a computer or server itself. So you can install the firewall software in any one of the devices. Even though you can install the firewall in the cables also, DSL cable, digital subscribers line. In that cable also you can install the firewall software. So network security devices like firewalls can protect one system or 1 million system. This is interesting. One system, the firewall it is preventing means usually that system might be your computer. So in case of 1 million system, usually the organizational network. You just if you are able to get an opportunity to visit Cisco organization. So if you in the through the industrial visit, definitely it's an if you get an opportunity, so you will understand exactly how many million of computer is providing the internet, a seamless internet No disconnection. Continuously, they are providing internet services through their data centers, Cisco data centers. So, previous of your batches might visited that one. When at that point of time, I came to know that the how exactly the internet is going to be provided to the private users. So, what is a firewall? Firewalls are not strictly hardware devices. It means that it might be hybrid, it might be a software. So, both possible. Firewalls are not strictly hardware devices. The capability of a firewall to deny or accept traffic. The main job of the firewall is to control the traffic from outside network to inside network. If you install a firewall anywhere in between with your laptop and outside the college or the organization, usually that is maintained in the data center of the college. If you are sending request from your computer through the website like HTTP request, first it goes to firewall, it checks verified packets, then it sends to outside the world. If you are getting response from outside world which is requested by you, that response first goes to the packet filters, then it comes to the firewall. Firewall checks whether it is a valid packet or not based on the firewall rules set by us. Then that traffic will be allowed by the firewall inside our network, then it will reaches to our computer. This mechanism exists with to monitor outgoing traffic as well as incoming traffic from external to internal network or internal to another internal network. It is not always like external or internal. If you frame the network topology of LAN connection to transfer the packets from one system to another system also, if you are using a router technology with router with firewall, then that firewall is going to check the packets which you are sending at the interface level. Okay, so the capability of a firewall is to deny or accept traffic, either reject your traffic or accept the traffic. That is the basic of firewall. Basic function of firewall is accept or allow or deny or reject. It is often built into devices like wireless access points. WAP points are there, which is installed inside the organizational network. That is like what we calling as Wi-Fi devices, and cables and DSL modems. Modems are connected, which is consist of the antenna to receive the signals inside and outside. Cables also using LAN cables. We are usually in our lab. There is a LAN cables are installed. That is RJ45 cables are installed to connect with the network through the switchboard. Probably you observed that in the lab, in our labs, right? And sometimes the it's also a part of almost all operating system. Firewalls almost, as I just now shown that firewall is already there with the Windows operating system. So firewall software examines traffic on a network interface to determine whether packets should be allowed to enter or leave the interface. So firewall examines traffic on a network interface. Every system, every system, all we have the network card. So all we have the network card, NIC card. So every system which you are going to connect have the network card. Oh, images. understand how exactly network card works. Let us watch this short video about the NIC network interface card. Both it consists of wireless as well as wired. Okay, understood. What is NIC network interface card? How what is the types of NICs are there? Wireless and wired. Usually, your lab systems are wired system, and our mobile devices and laptop which we are using connecting with internet is Wi-Fi connection. So that interface card, that network interface is uh, the firewall examines a traffic and a network interface, that is hardware device, to whether to allow that packet into the network or denying that from the interface of that card. So every network today, you are watching the my lecture through using your interface card. Either maybe you are watching through mobile phone. That mobile phone, which is a built-in internet card, Wi-Fi card, that is going to be connected to the internet, and this lecture is going to be watched. Similarly, the student who has connected with their desktop machine, definitely they will have a hotspot connection or the Bluetooth, or they might have the LAN connection, or they might use the modem connection to connect with the internet to watch this lecture. Okay, is it clear about the what is exactly the firewall? It's a software or a hybrid based application to filter out the incoming and outgoing traffic. As of now, this is the definition of firewall. Clear? Okay, thus, a continuation of this, firewall software blocks inbound connections to a system services that should not be exposed to other system on a public Wi-Fi network. So whenever we are sitting in IRCTC cabin or the cafe network, usually there's a private public network. Whenever we connect within the public network, if you have a built-in firewall, so at some extent that firewall is going to protect you from the malicious traffics. So it prevents the, so you can observe animation video is present in this slide. You observe here, if you are having a laptop which is connected with the internet outside, in between there is an modem and the firewall is present. So observe, the bug is coming into the modem, and modem allows to enter the bug, but the firewall which is defined there, it is going to drop that packet. If it is a legitimate packet flowing through the modem, modem passes both either router or the modem. So firewall is going to allow to enter into system. So you can see even internet is mainly the internal network is connecting to the external outside internet through the firewalls. So usual case for personal firewalls on laptops, we connect to the public networks. Usually, we because even I'm not belongs to the organization like a management level. I'm just an employee of the institution. So usually they are providing the internet as a public service, public within the organizational structure. Public means completely not outside the outsiders also, but public within the internal structure. But firewall software can also be used to block outbound traffic from a system to a network. For example, you might wish to block traffic to known malware sites to try and limit the potential damage of downloading an infected file. For example, porn sites are there. So nowadays in India, porn sites are banned. So 3 months before, you might be able to access porn sites. So usually the porn sites consist of malware or infected files, viruses or Trojan horses. So if you download infected files, while downloading itself, the firewall is going to notify you, don't download this one. This is suspicious downloading file. It is going to notify you before. So if you how you are configured this firewall, it depends on you. If you are configure the firewall for the browser, uh, while click on the download link, before downloading and entering into the local memory or local storage, at first it is going to be checked by the firewall. Either your firewall might be your antivirus software also. Sometimes antivirus software also do the blocking the sites that is going to be downloaded. So firewall may also manage traffic between two or more different network. So not only the from computer or mobile to mobile, from two different network. For example, the internal network BMSIT is one and BMSCE is second network. So to connect with these two, again the firewalls are installed between. So these two networks are different. Still, they are able to communicate. So similarly, the eBay service, Amazon service, those are all different networks. Still, we are able to connect it with our internal network service. It's all it possible through either gateway or the routers or the firewalls, etc. and so on. So firewalls help keep internal traffic internal and safe from malicious external traffic. So read this statement. Firewalls also help keep internal traffic internally. It is not allowing or going outside. Some restricted networks are there. The network topologies are there. This traffic won't go outside. So it keeps safe the internal communication internally, and also it also keeps safe the malicious external traffic. If any traffic coming from external internet to the internal network, then it is going to find whether it is a malicious or valid or invalid. How it is going to do? By updating the rules of the firewalls. We will see how we can do that configuration of the firewall. Okay, note, if a device just routes traffic between networks and is unable to apply security rules based on the traffic it observes, it is just a router. Don't confuse with router and filter. Firewall. Firewall applies the security rules, whereas router only it routes, it gives the path of sending a packet from one network to another network. If it does not apply the security means sometimes routers can be a firewall when it apply the security rules. If it does not apply security rules, only it allows the traffic movement from one source to destination, it is become a router. If applies the security rules, then that router can be a firewall. So firewalls take the direction of traffic into consideration when filtering packets. So sometimes firewalls will take care of routing also. It's important to keep a perspective on what are considered internal or external system when creating rules. So who is creating rules? The administrator of that data center is going to set the rules such a way that internal communication should go internally. For example, how they are restricting. Suppose I am using BMSIT.in email ID. So if I am trying to send a BMSIT dot through my email ID to your Gmail account, it warns me. So you are sending your email to the outsider. It is a suspicious activities. It is telling always. So that is it is controlled by domain rules. So a administrator set in such a way that the person who is having the BMSIT.in domain Gmail account, if he is trying to communicate to the external party who has having the gmail.com account, then it suspect me to not to send or just it once. If you want to share some Google Drive folders also, it is telling that some of the persons who is having gmail.com and they don't have in your contact list of the Gmail service, whether really want to send the email or not. It is warning. So rule setting is such that. So and ingress is nothing but inbound traffic. So ingress filter affects packets that arrive on a protected interface, that is network interface card, either system or the network. A firewall that protects a website, this would be inbound traffic such as HTTP requests. You heard about HTTP request response headers in your web technology. Very first module it say about the HTTP request. So the traffic which is coming and hits to your website, which is deployed, that is turned as a HTTP request. So if a website is not found, means status error, different set of status error code 404, 403, 500 errors. So many status error code which is going to means usually the website requests are the HTTP requests. So now currently the HTTP requests are HTTPS request, that is encrypted request which is coming from outside world to the website. In inbound traffic such as HTTP requests from anywhere on the internet to the web server. An ingress filter might ensure that only HTTP traffic comes into the web server. What an ingress filter is going to tell? Ingress is an inbound filter which is installed with the firewalls. That firewall in the structure of firewall, ingress filter is going to filter out only. It is going to see whether the injection or the traffic coming from request is coming from to this website is HTTP request or not. If it is not HTTP request, it simply rejects that packets and sends the response as it's an invalid entry something. So whereas in egress, that is outbound filter, it affects packets that leave the interface. So for a website, for example, this would be responses to incoming HTTP requests. HTTP request coming to the website, the website has to respond back to the requested made by the user. So by in the response going from the website to the user, so there that packet is going to check. An egress filter might ensure that no traffic is initiated from the web server to the internet. So this is one of the countermeasure of backdoor access into the website system. So egress filter, it is checking. So when the website is idle, no request is coming from the user, but some script is executing automatically. When some script is executing, it means that that website traffic monitoring system is there, that is egress filter. It is monitoring any unwanted packets are moving from website to the outside world without HTTP request coming from the user. So this thinking, this functionality is going with the packet filter of the firewall, that is egress. So in this way, indirectly, what filter is going to think that if any suspicious activity is existing with the web application or the web server, if there, then it immediately blocks such kind of activity. That's another countermeasure that egress is going to be identified. In such situation, if there is no HTTP request to the web page, still that web page is going to sending the responses as a HTTP, even though there is no request, then it suspects and blocks such traffic which is sending outside the world. So security measures are at the minute level. Security measures are taken care by the experts and the security researchers in such a way that even small variation in the signals also, the traffic is going. Even though it's that much sophisticated countermeasures are implemented also, still the hacking is happening because it is a war field. New techniques are coming up, new people are coming up, new motivated people are coming up like you. So many things is happening in this world because of the technology, because of the motive behind that hacking, etc., and so on. So two common network security software component that you can equate to firewall like functionality are. Actually, these are all not firewall, but still they acts as a firewall. One is personal firewall. Usually it is maintained with your laptop. This firewall is usually maintained with the laptop. You can see this one highlight. So laptop protected by DSL or cable modem. These are all the called as personal firewall because it is implemented. Might be comes with the system itself or comes with the operating system itself. This is usually not allowed to allow the unauthorized access. These are the firewalls primarily protect a system services or file sharing from unauthorized access. So these kind of firewalls are personal firewalls. Usually it uses DSL cable, modem or a cable or the laptops. In this case, the firewall rules have to be in effect in order to block unauthorized access. As I shown here, right, the Windows firewall. In this Windows for firewall rules, what is the rule set here? What is the rule set here? Windows firewall state on incoming connection, block all connection to apps that are not on the list of allowed apps. In that allowed apps, again, which are the apps are allowed to enter into the system. In advanced settings, you can do so allow an app or feature. These are all filter options. Which apps are allowed, which is not allowed. So you just whether you want to make it as private connection or you want to allow the publicly accessible port numbers, etc., and so on. So all these things are the filtering. You can change the options and you can allow the traffic or you can prevent the traffic enter into the laptop or the system. Similarly, the second variety of the common network security component is the parental control software. Again, as you are aware that if you give up your mobile phone to the small kid, because the advertisements are coming like a porn advertisement, so that is not good for the child below the 15 years. He is going to see such kind of the porn sites. So there is a in the web browser setting itself, there is an option called as block the porn sites. Blocking the porn sites. you can have a block of those traffic, outbound traffic as well as incoming traffic, which is from the porn websites or like political related websites or any malwares or any other reasons. This requires a privilege account to define the controls for a lower privilege account. This is another type of the firewall which has the parental control software and personal firewalls. Okay, is it clear? Fine. Let us stop here. In the next class, we are going to continue. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to engage. So, sign in into the system by exactly 8:30. Any questions? I hope I made you understand.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine.